in a little bit of a lake effect, I assume snowstorm. And you see Orwell here behind me. There's a Cabover. Ain't that a beautiful shot right there? I'm in the shadow, truck's in the shadow. What kind of videographer parks here? FSC Trucking. Today's a long day in coming, but it's finally here. We're over here at Green APU in Lamont, Illinois. We're going to go ahead and get an APU installed on Orwell. But first, we're going to drop the trailer and get it in the shop. We're ready to pull up underneath the trailer. With some help of my older son, Sean, we went ahead and prepped the truck. You gotta check this out. This is some interesting stuff. Probably better wait for him to clean the floor first. Alrighty, well I guess that's where I don't get to drive no more. They're gonna back it into the building right here and get them all situated and get started. By the way, we're putting the APU right behind the passenger front tire. Alrighty, boys and girls, now we have Orwell all set up, ready to go. Installation has already begun. Dottie over here is with Green APU, and she's going to be showing us around the manufacturing side of things, because they don't just sell them and install them here. They make them here. Everything is made right here in-house.
We sure do. And this is step one of the production. This is our Philip here, and he does your harnesses.
Look at this right here. He's got the jig, sets up the harness right there. He's walked way out there, so I guess it's an easy way to wrap it and set it up. And think about it, a truck like mine, it's going to be a long harness. So
it sure will be difficult project, but we could handle it for sure.
Well, we didn't get into that on how Orwell is different from other trucks, but they're not scared to get into it. So we're going to show you how they get it done. No, boys and girls, this isn't two guys just taking a whole bunch of wires and wrapping electrical tape around it like I do. This is some state-of-the-art stuff right here. Someone's gonna have to explain to me how this all works. This is badass, just to make wiring harnesses. Nice. Philip is going to show us how this automated wire harness maker works.
Hi, I'm Philip. We're doing our own wiring harnesses in here. Just a quick tour, really fast. We have this big Zeta machine that's doing like crimping, and it's doing it's putting seals on. It's cutting and stripping the wires to the proper measurement. We have those little guys. Like this one's just for stripping. This one's just for cutting to length. That's like manual, semi-manual stampers to put the machines from the rolls. And this one you can crimp and put a seal and bundle them with whatever configuration you want it to. It's really simple because you have a picture of the wire with actual measurements, so it's just super easy to set up. And whenever you got it set up, you just click start, and you can see basically, I set it up to do it like 10 pieces at a time. So it's cutting, stripping, putting the seal on, and crimping it and bundling in 10 each. So that's what we do.
Nice.
And if you look at the screen here, it's showing us like how the process is advancing. Plus, it's you can see every single wire, how it's crimped. If anything's wrong, like beyond the line that we set it up to be, it's gonna stop. It's gonna ask us to remeasure to make sure that no like piece of wire is missing inside the crimp or anything.
All right, where's next?
Next, I'll show you my little fridges. I mean, our little fridges. So before, we used to ship our APUs on pallets and unorganized. Now, if you look this way, you'll see this is our APU in a box. So once a customer that has been gone through training and is approved as a certified installer, we're able to go ahead and ship it out to our distributor or to the customer that actually has done the due diligence and came in for training. And this is the APU itself, all the parts needed to install on a brand new or any kind of truck.
Nice, that's how they show up. Of course, we just get them straight from the factory. In fact, we basically drove right to the factory here. So, nice, that's little fridges. Yeah, they look like little refrigerator boxes. That's cool. What's the whole thing weigh, soup to nuts,
It's 419 plus the pallet, so about 420 pounds, 440, depending on the weight of the pallet.
So it's really not that heavy. Soup to nuts, you're looking at right around 400 or less for the entirety of the unit installed.
This is the box and everything included, so when we waited for shipping, it's about 400.
Yeah, there you go. So it doesn't add much weight at all. Now, coincidentally with Orwell, that became a little issue with Orwell being an oddball type of installation, which obviously they are not afraid of. I did not want to move the fuel tank forward because moving that much fuel, that kind of distance forward, would create a massive problem on my steers. Anytime I'm loaded, I'm already real close to 12 or just maybe 60, 80 pounds over if I'm full of fuel. So I can't move that much fuel forward. But adding 400 pounds forward, and even they're only on one side, it's not going to be an issue. That's why, if anybody wonders, why do you move the fuel tank? That's why we didn't move the fuel tank. You just can't move that much fuel. Think about it, guys. You slide your tandems, those do drive vans. every little hole is around 250 pounds. What do you think that does when you move a whole fuel tank a foot and a half forward? I don't even want to think about that. So we go from the mini fridges to, look, we got pallets of engines here.
This is my beautiful Kubota engine, 3-cylinder, straight from Japan. This is how we get them delivered to us, and we make our modifications as need be.
This is how they arrive.
This is how they arrive. Beautiful.
Nice. Look at that. We get to see one of these opened up?
We will on the other side by production.
Alrighty, I can't wait to see that. There's just something about a brand new, fresh, shiny, still smelling good engine before you even run its first time. Well, do they test them before they ship them?
Of course, they go through their own testing, and once everything has been assembled on our end, we do our own testing here.
So those are brand new, pre-tested, ready to roll, so you already know that they're good to go right out of the box or off the crate.
Yes, sir.
All right. Alrighty, boys and girls, this is how they come from the factory at Kubota right here to Green APU. We're going to show you the difference between how the alternator bracket mounts, how the water pump pulley mounts. This is all different because their system is a serpentine system that they run rather than the V-belt that comes factory from Kubota.
So here we go. This is the next step, the stage where the V-belt system becomes a serpentine system with the tensioner ready to go. These here we make in-house as well, as you know.
Okay, so you bolt the SERP pulley right on the one that we've seen over there, and then we just completely change this and this completely separate.
How did you know?
I kind of do this stuff on the automotive side of my life, but yeah, that's interesting. You gotta try putting air conditioning on a car with a blower on it, like a supercharger. Yeah, that gets interesting.
Really? Okay,
yeah, there are kits for that, and even there, you got to kit bash the kit. You guys figured this all out in-house.
Yes, sir. And also one more thing that I wanted to point out, this is how our engines come in from Kubota. The system that they have, it's a 90-degree angle for your oil filter.
Right.
What we have come up, which is approved, is a 90-degree angle switchover. And I'll show you on the other side how it's turned into the 90-degree into simple replacement.
So this is not the way it comes when the unit's done. Okay,
Correct.
so it comes down in angles like we're used to in the trucking industry.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, cool, awesome. Alrighty, next up.
Next up, let's see the production line.
Alrighty.
So this is where the other thing happens. I mean, when we put the APU together, everything is made in-house. All these are actually from local vendors that come in, and then we assemble those walls and sidewalls and everything else here in-house by another department, and then they put them here for the final stages of assembly.
Okay, I'm starting to actually recognize the unit now in pieces.
In pieces, there you go. So this is the next stage. You see the Star Edition emblem already on the unit itself. Everything is ready, almost ready for the final stages. One more turn and we'll see it here. So this is the bracket that I've been mentioning for our beautiful
Oh, look at that.
oil filter.
Okay. So that'll bolt against the original mount,
Absolutely.
and then I'm assuming a bolt and a seal, and then right through here.
Yes, just like this.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Bolt goes through. There's There's relief holes in there, in the actual bolt. That's probably the fanciest bolt you're ever gonna see. O-ring on the outside,
And then it's been,
O-ring on the inside.
this is
And of
one,
course I'm holding it upside down, goes like so. That's good. That's some top-notch machining right there.
one piece of aluminum.
With a part number on it.
There you go.
Where was
Up,
that?
Up.
Oh,
There we go. And this is how it looks pre-assembly without the walls. And this is your serpentine system. All
one
ready to go.
serpentine. So in the end, it's one serpentine belt, crank pulley, tensioner, air conditioning compressor, idler, water pump, alternator. One nice, easy system. I like that. Plus, it's right at the end of the unit, so without the paneling on there, it's super easy to service.
Absolutely.
Imagine that, easy to service, really? Why would I ever want something like that? I don't know. I drive a cab over, you just tilt the cab up. There's the engine right there. You don't got to crawl underneath the cab. Excellent. That's cool. I like that. Air filter right here. Nice. Oh, and rubber mounted on the bottom so it doesn't shake, rattle, and roll.
There's your boots. We call them the boots.
The boots, huh? All right. Now I know what to call them. Excellent. On to
the next stage.
Here.
All these here, if you look at any of the modifications that have been made, they all have colors on here. This is someone's signature. This means that somebody had actually checked torque and everything else, made sure it's correct. Once they have assembled it, they put their color on it, meaning that it's completed, and this is the person who's responsible for the job.
So all these markings that they've
Every
been
color
torqued
is
are
somebody
color
else.
coded to the
technician.
technician that put it together.
Yes, sir.
Must have accountability. Excellent. That's helpful for later on in time should there be an issue.
Should there
For
be
sure.
ever. Yes, sir.
Excellent.
And I honestly think that everybody is doing their best here. They take pride in their work that they perform, and you could definitely, hopefully, see it in the long run how well it will perform for you.
One thing I noticed around here, the shop is very clean.
Oh, thank
Very
you.
clean, very orderly. There's a place for everything. Like, not for nothing, just turn around and look. You see the way they have everything organized, the different nuts, bolts for each workstation. Everything set up and organized right where you just work in here, turn around, grab what you need, turn around, get your work done. Very nice and efficient setup.
It sure is. I cannot take a part in it, but there's definitely a lot of people who had sat down and drew out a plan after plan to make it seem seamless.
Bet. Oh, I bet. You guys aren't moving one or two units, you're moving a whole bunch of them.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And this is the final stages here. So once everything has been put together with the hoses and wiring and everything else, the sidewalls come on and get all secured and zip tied and everything else in order for the final stage of testing the APU.
Check out the clearances in here. It's tight, but it's not overly tight. Like, you could still service this. You can still get a tool in there to work that tensioner, get this belt out of there. Obviously, when you guys designed this, you guys obviously had the maintenance side of it in mind, keeping it compact enough so it fit in a tighter, more problematic truck, such as mine, but still be large enough to service it and work on it with all the paneling removed. It's right there. Got the top, got the front, and these can come off, right? So if you have to, you can get to the sides as well.
Absolutely. So the idea behind Green APU is for you to enjoy the long-lasting Green APU in your truck. Ease of use, easy maintenance, all these things are super important to everybody on the road, especially winter time comes and you have to get to it. It's not going to take you 17 hours to unmount something and work on it. It takes a couple of minutes to unscrew and even for instance your oil changes. One plate on the bottom comes off, and then if you could see here, your oil filter and oil and fuel filters are easily attainable from the bottom.
Right here on the other side. So we're looking at the back of the unit.
This is the back of the unit, absolutely.
So here's your exhaust that comes down on this unit.
You got it.
Here's fuel filter, right? Yep, labeled right there, fuel filter. I can read.
And
there's your modified vertically oil filter. That's larger than the other one too.
It sure is. It's for you to enjoy it for at least 1,000 hours.
Nice.
Every 1,000 hours, we require the PM service to be done. You'll get a notification on your screen letting you know 100 hours ahead of time that the service is due. So there's no excuses not to be able to make it to some location or do it by yourself.
And if you think about the average break for us truck drivers is 10 hours, maybe a little more depending on if we're in a hurry or not. So if you do the math, 1,000 hours, divide by 10, that's a lot of nights.
There you go.
Or days if you're a night driver.
Absolutely.
Where to next?
Just wanted to also show off the condenser fan that is no longer mounted on your cab.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
We forgot about that.
Spin around here, cameraman. No more rusty condenser on the back of your cab, making your nice shiny truck look terrible. Right there. It's right in the unit.
It is. Look how much space you're saving and the wiring and the issues that might come up. This is all in a tiny little package, but powerful. Up to 26,000 BTU.
True story. If you go way back in my videos when Orwell's transmission broke, everybody was telling me about those cold starts that I had no choice but to do. But I went out there with a Widmeyer Express company truck to go get it, and that truck had one of these units on there. And let me tell you, that unit spoiled me for that time I had that truck, because that was nice. It was winter time, I didn't need the air conditioner, but it kept that big bunk Kenworth. It was a T660 with the big bunk. That kept that thing roasty toasty all night.
That's
in
awesome.
10-degree weather with wind. And the engine, the primary engine, turn the key, right up. Not even a thought. Meanwhile, Orwell pressed the starter for 2 minutes and pray. But problem solved now.
And then final stage, once all the APUs have been completed with the assembly, they come to this station. This station is a replica of your semi-truck, and it will go ahead and run it for a test. The RPMs are set up here as well. And this is the controller and cab control system.
So this is what will be inside the truck.
It is the same one, same setup, everything else. Simple to use, one touch button, and turn, click, done.
Being the fact I've used this before, that really was the ultimate in simplicity. As far as like literally just turn it on, because he's got his air conditioning hoses hooked to it. So
yes.
Nice, you got your little exhaust run out the door. Coolant lines, fuel lines, harness. Long story short, in Japan where they make the Kubota, the engine itself, they're tested before you guys get them. Then you guys put it all in a nice neat package here, and then you guys run it through the heat cycle, through an air conditioning cycle.
Absolutely.
And then it's all, so it's ready to run right out of the box. And we already know what runs and runs well.
Absolutely, and with machinery, anything could happen. I mean, overseeing this unit be performed for 30, 40 an hour on a station here, it really proves that this unit is ready to go. So even though it may just go across to another building, across the parking lot, and have it installed on your truck, or to even a customer in Canada, will definitely be checked before the end user gets to meet their baby.
Awesome. That's got to be this right here has got to be a game changer in just the reliability of the unit. The fact it's been run again, ran through its paces before it's shipped out. That has got to make a big change right there.
And definitely, let's not forget, after it's been installed on your truck, now it's going to do their own test again. So the technician will fill it with Freon, 1.7 pounds, to make sure the APU, again, no leaks, it's running well, everything is secure and ready to go.
Awesome.
Yep.
I'm liking what I see. Now, I'm told your average time to get one of these APUs installed is usually about 6 to 8 hours. Drivers, when you get these units installed on your truck, it's not just a garage where you're just sitting around waiting and milling around. Granted, you can see your unit being worked from outside the doors, but they do have a very convenient waiting area for you. Sit up here and lounge. I'm not gonna turn it on because of, you know, what might be on the TV, but got the TV over here, microwave, snack machine. There's another driver's stuff just sitting here, so I'm not gonna focus on that. But that's not all. In addition to the little waiting area they got for us over here, they also have, wait for this. Now you're gonna have to trust me on this one. Bathrooms with showers. I'm not gonna film in the bathroom for obvious reasons, but bathrooms with showers and laundry. Why waste your time? While they're working on your truck, get all your laundry all done up and done, unless you get some new merch from them over here, of course, they have it. Do your laundry, get your truck done. That way when the truck's all said and done, you're ready to rock and roll. With clean clothes. Well, now that you've seen the driver amenities, let's go ahead and check out the progress on Orwell itself. How we're doing. If you look up top, he's already got the HVAC box already set up and inside. What we did, I didn't do it, they did it. What they did is right behind the passenger seat, they put the stack. Now that stack will blow heat and air up into the truck via the front. There's another one just like that one up there. If you look at that air duct on the top, it'll come up right near that vent in the sleeper and blow crossways. There's a panel in there where the control panel is. That's how we're gonna run the unit, on that control panel where the factory heating, air conditioning, ductwork used to be. That's been removed and replaced with the Green APU system. This will still leave me some access to store stuff in there and ample service area for the HVAC system. Now the trick is the unit, here we go. The tech's showing me a picture right here. That's what the stack looks like with the control box, the stack, and the sleeper vent, and that'll be at the other side of my mattress. So right, this will be the end of my mattress, control and stack, and that'll blow it right on me. My head will be facing this, so that's perfect. Ultimately, the unit will be right here in this gap where my exhaust will be rerouted, because at this point now it's just a half a fake stack, or one fake, one real. What we're doing now, I keep saying me, what he's doing now is routing all the coolant lines and air conditioning lines coming down the frame of the sleeper of the Cabover, which of course is up, down, gonna come like a little S shape and run with the factory air conditioning and heater core lines, and then run its way down the frame right to the unit. We'll check back in with you once we get some more work done. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing, and somebody really put some thought into this as to how to route their lines along with the factory ones, because we don't want to kink any lines, make some crazy curve. Alrighty, boys and girls, update time. Let's see how Orwell is doing here. Just started mounting the unit. It's going to change its appearance here. I got a couple goodies coming our way. I want to check out our hosing. The way it's set up is it'll come out of the bottom where the HVAC system is. I have my side box run down, hanging them on these nice little clamps that they make. Right here, if you can see, they're hanging on a neat bunch of these, so it'll hang a little lower underneath the frame of the cab. And then they brought them around the, this right here, I haven't really touched base on this, but this right here is the factory blender door. That's up in here, and up in here is where your heater core and your evaporator is from the factory air compressor. factory air compressors right here. So what they did is they brought it around right behind my headlights and then back behind where the factory hoses go. See, here's the factory air conditioning lines, and the factory heater hoses are back here. So they'll run that right here. Again, your factory lines here. So we just added to what is factory. Oh boy, would you look at that. I don't think it'll be too much longer before we're ready to fire the little beast up. Probably pretty soon. He's got it hooked up, and it was putting the battery cables to it now, but I wanted to show you something. So I asked some questions. This is how the unit will keep me warm and keep the engine warm. Check this out. Water will come from the unit via this hose, come up around here behind the alternator, under the turbo. It's cool enough over here. You see over here, there's a wire here. These run the Jake brakes. This wire and this wire. This hose will feed water into the back of the head. There's a pipe plug right there, or was one. That feeds water into the engine. What it does is cycles the water through the entire engine, and what it then does is it comes up into the radiator and then down. It then returns up through the lower radiator hose into your water pump and out right here. This is where the engine supplies right here, these two valves here. This is how the engine supplies the factory heater core with water. But that's how the unit will keep this engine warm. It cycles it through the engine and through the radiator. Now, you're probably looking at me like, Steve, through the radiator, how does that help? Well, it doesn't help for the heating side, but it helps for the cooling side. Cooling meaning air conditioning, keeping me cool, because the unit itself does not have a radiator. It has a condenser, but not a radiator. It uses my radiator. That's why it sets it that direction. Now, as far as keeping me warm in the winter time, that's these other hoses. Now this is a big bundle here. 2 of them are air conditioning and 2 of them are coolant lines. The coolant lines cycle hot water all the way up and around and up into the HVAC way up there, which will be down here. And that keeps the cab nice and warm. Also, like I said, running water through the engine, keeping it warm. In the summertime, it's running the air conditioning through the Freon lines up to the HVAC box, but using the engine and the radiator as the radiator for the little engine running. Because as you can see, there is no radiator, just a condenser. And that's the very basics of how it works. Now once we get it running, I get out of here, I get some days with it, using it and cycling through it. We'll get into exactly how it works and my thoughts on it and how well it works. But that's the basics how they work. Now if you notice, the shop here is full. Like this one here, it's here for a service of some kind. It's had it on there when it came in. There's another one over here, this big Peterbilt. It's getting a fresh install. There's a brand new one over there. It's getting a fresh install. That's all the shop seems to be doing, is either servicing these units or installing brand new ones. So think about it. Fuel being what it is now, a lot of these guys, they're not going to be like me and just sitting there and sweat or freeze. They're going to idle. That just costs a lot of money. Alrighty, boys and girls, we brought the cab down. Obviously, you want to check clearances. Look how nice those hoses wrap on the other side of that hydraulic ram, and the hoses that go to the HVAC box. Oh, so nice and pretty. Look at that. You know, supposedly, actually not supposedly, this is Green APU's first Cabover, like ever. You would think they've done this before. Now what we're doing is we're putting this black quarter fender on, because otherwise that tire is going to be spitting all garbage right into that brand new unit. So that quarter fender is going to go on there, up in there somewhere. So now we're going to figure out how we're going to mount it. Then we'll raise the cab up if we need. Well, now that it's down, we can take nice pictures here of the unit. And well, there we go. Thanks for the light. So that's just going to ride right here in the side box. I'll put a dividing wall here, something so I can store some crap in here, but for now, that's the only thing that's going to be in there. All right, looking good, looking good. put this quarter fender on now that's mounted and done. Real simply, just backed off one of them bolts over there, put the pipe in there, bolt the pipe to the frame there, and then he shortened this so it fits. So this step will go right over it. This way it'll look right. Also, the big thing was just getting the tire to not spit everything into the fan and condenser. I have to keep an eyeball on that as we clean it and so on. That's just part of my side of things with this. But there it is, almost ready to go. He wheeled out the air conditioner charge system here, so. All right, I'm getting excited. We're getting ready to fire it up. He's got the coolant going back in to replace what came out. Plus the system, you know, obviously was full of air. He's got the air conditioning charging. We're actually vacuuming down right now. So it's getting ready to have a full charge of Freon. Full load of coolant. We'll be running here in a moment. Oh, I'm excited. I'm real excited. There we go, the APU's alive. Now we just got it set up, whatever on your end you got it set up, and we're good to go. Alrighty, boys and girls, we're in the interior of the truck. You can hear the APU running. So here's the stack blowing straight directly across. Driver's seat, and me right there on that side. I still got to put the rest of the bed together. So here we are in the controller. It's kind of dark back here, but push the button. Temperature set at 60. We could raise it up to 69. That's reasonable. APU engine off, no set temperature, set fan speed. So auto high, auto low. It was on high, we'll leave it there. Hear the fan coming back up. There we go, fan speed, battery charger. Battery charger 14.5, water temp 165, excellent. Service hours, obviously brand new. Everything's absolutely brand new. Well, that's how it works. If I want to shut it off, I just would push the button here. So we'll leave it on. Set temperature. Bring it down to 68 again like it was. Actually, looks like it turned the heat on right here. It says heat. Temperature inside is 64, it's set for 68, so it just threw the heat on, and I could feel the heat blowing a little too. So there we are, good to go. All right, boys and girls, so now with that, let's go ahead and get out and I'll show you the finished product. Looking good. boys and girls, so now we got the finished product on, already running, ready to go. Come on, let's show you what it looks like. Ultimately, we decided, as we discussed earlier, I didn't get really to show you the full array of different appearances that this came with, but this has the brushed aluminum / chrome package on it. I opted to put the sticker here for better product placement. This one kind of is hidden by the cab. There's also a nice little surprise on the top I want to show you. Listen to that air conditioner cycle. Believe it or not, it's chilly out and the air conditioner is running. I have it still set at 68, but the sun is baking the cab, so it's warm in there, you know. That's why you don't leave your kids in a hot car. Or truck drivers for that matter. Now I just jacked up the cab. If you haven't noticed, the cab jack is now on the other side and is reversed like I think it's supposed to be. That's beside the point. Now let me show you this. Another neat feature that they offered was this catwalk. Whenever I have to do maintenance on the engine, I'm usually standing on everything. So this is actually made to be stood on, so you don't have to worry about bending it or breaking anything. Service it. Take your cover off and there you are. Now this can't unbolt and come off from the top, and this can unbolt and come off from the bottom. But that's what it looks like, and what it looks like running. Now don't clown me, but the original exhaust came down right where the unit now is. Try to cut it off, and we touched it with a piece of the pipe I cut off. So right now I got one real stack and one fake stack. We're gonna address that when we get home. Boys and girls, that's it for the Green APU installation video. I want to give a special shout out to the entire crew here at Green APU from the top down. Just true professionals. Installation worked really well. It was really, actually, for a problematic truck, it actually worked really well. Everybody sat down and made plans to figure out how to route my hoses, my cables, and all of that. And in the end result came out far better than even I had envisioned. So big shout out to the entire crew at Green APU. Awesome job. Sweet. Now I have air to sleep with. Alrighty guys, I don't want to ramble all day. I'm hungry. Cameraman Sean, he's hungry too. So we're gonna park this thing, go get some grub. I got a load to pick up tomorrow. So tonight, I'm gonna sleep my first night in here with beautiful climate control. It's gonna be cold, so we'll have great heat. Alright, we're out of here. Come on, let's go eat.